Three civic war memorials were unveiled on Saturday 11th November 1922 at towns in the counties of Londonderry, Antrim and Tyrone. The Portrush War Memorial. The 9 feet 9 inch tall pedestal of Irish limestone is surmounted by a 7 feet 6 inch bronze figure of Victory, with inverted sword in her right hand and a palm branch in her left hand. The monument was designed by Sir George James Frampton, and the bronze figure was sculpted by Frank Ransom, both of whom were from London. The monument was constructed by William Kirkpatrick Limited and unveiled by Lady Macnaghten, who had lost 2 sons within 3 months during the war. Second Lieutenant Sir Edward Harry Macnaghten of the 1st Battalion Black Watch was killed in action on 1st July 1916 at the age of 20 whilst attached to 12th Battalion Royal Irish Rifles. His brother, 2nd Lieutenant Sir Arthur Douglas Macnaghten, was killed in action on 15th September 1916 at the age of 19 while serving with 8th Battalion Rifle Brigade. Sir James Craig presided over the ceremony, and in his speech he stated that 300 men from Portrush's population of 3,000 had enlisted with the Ulster Division, and that the spirit of Ulster had carried those men through the most appalling time. There was no reference to the men who served and died with other units of the British, Dominion and Empire forces. The names of the fallen were read by Captain Sidney James Lyle, who had served with the 12th Battalion Royal Irish Rifles and 6th Divisional Train Royal Army Service Corps. The memorial was dedicated by the Reverend James Gilbert Patton of Malone Presbyterian Church and formerly of Terrace Row Presbyterian Church in Coleraine. He had served as a chaplain in the Ulster Division, being attached to the 10th Battalion Royal Inniskilling Fusiliers, and was awarded the Military Cross with 2 bars. The bronze dedicatory plaque on the front face of the pedestal features a relief engraving depicting a seascape with 3 battleships, and it's surmounted by a victor's laurel wreath. The other 3 faces of the memorial now have bronze plaques recording the names of the Great War fatalities, but these plaques were not present when the memorial was unveiled. It is possible that the names of the fallen were originally engraved on the faces of the pedestal. The memorial was erected at a cost of £1,300, which equates to approximately £57,200 in current terms. Jessie Edgar was born on 28 December 1887 to James Edgar and Margaret Edgar, formerly Forsyth, who farmed land at Island Moor Townland. He was employed as a policeman in Christchurch when he enlisted on 23 August 1915 and was posted to the New Zealand Provost Corps. He was attached to the 1st Battalion Canterbury Regiment when it arrived at the Suez Canal in December 1915. He left Port Said for France in April 1916 and was transferred to the Mounted Military Police in October 1916. He was subsequently attached to the 1st Battalion Canterbury Regiment with the rank of corporal when he sustained wounds to the head and abdomen and died at No. 29 Casualty Clearing Station on 27 April 1918. Jessie Edgar was 30 years old and is buried in Bagneux British Cemetery at Gizencourt in France. Locally, he is commemorated on the family memorial in Ballywillan Old Cemetery and on the memorial tablet in Ballywillan Presbyterian Church. After participating in the ceremony in Portrush, Sir James Craig and the Reverend James Gilbert Patton travelled a few miles southwest to unveil and dedicate the War Memorial in Coleraine. In his opening remarks, Mr. Daniel Hill Christie, chairman of the Coleraine Urban District Council, said that Coleraine had contributed 1,000 men, almost 13% of the entire population, to the forces of the Crown, and this, quote, record of patriotic duty was unsurpassed in the United Kingdom. However, numerous other towns in Ulster made similar claims, including Ballymena and Lurgan. Mr. Christie went on to report that 169 men gave their lives in the discharge of their duty. The memorial was dedicated by the Reverend James Gilbert Patton, and the names of the fatalities were read out by Lieutenant Colonel Robert Sinclair Knox, formerly of the Royal Inniskilling Fusiliers. The names of the fallen were engraved on the faces of the pedestal and at a later date replaced with the current bronze tablets. Captain Knox was one of only 7 officers from British, Dominion and Empire forces to be awarded the Distinguished Service Order 4 times during the Great War. The memorial is 21 feet and 6 inches high and features a bronze statue of a soldier in full battle uniform and wearing a cape with his rifle grounded. The statue is mounted on a pedestal of Portland stone and this features a bronze figure of Victory holding a laurel wreath above her head. The plinth is made from Irish granite, and the memorial was designed by Frederick William Pomeroy and cost £1,800, which equates to approximately £79,230 in current terms. Robert Wallace Gilmore was born on 1st July 1885 at the Diamond in Coleraine, where William Gilmore and Margaret Johnson Gilmore, née Wallace, had a jewellery and watchmaking business. Before the war, Robert Gilmore was employed as a cashier in the Ulster Bank's Pembroke branch in Dublin. He enlisted with the Connaught Rangers but was transferred to the Inns of Court Officers Training Corps and was subsequently commissioned into the Royal Inniskilling Fusiliers in December 1916. He was posted to 9th Battalion in France on 21st February 1917 and sustained gunshot wounds to the leg during the Battle of Messines. After a period of recuperation at home, 2nd Lieutenant Robert Wallace Gilmore returned to the Western Front and was killed in action during the German Spring Offensive in March 1918. He was 32 years old and has no known grave, being commemorated on the Pozières Memorial in France. Locally, he is commemorated on a family memorial in Coleraine Cemetery and on the memorial tablets for New Row Presbyterian Church in Coleraine and the Ulster Bank in Belfast. Moving down into Tyrone, the Dungannon War Memorial was also unveiled on 11th November 1922. The memorial, which is 18 feet and 6 inches high, was designed by Frederick William Pomeroy and constructed by R. Patton and Sons. It was erected at a cost of £1,700, which is approximately £74,800 in current terms. The memorial was unveiled by Constance Elizabeth Knox, Countess of Ranfully, whose only son, Captain Thomas Uchter Knox, Viscount Northland, had been killed in action on 1st February 1915 while serving with the 11th Battalion Coldstream Guards. Brigadier General Ambrose Ricardo gave the eulogy, and the names of the fallen were read by Dr. Frederick Clark Mann, chairman of the Dungannon War Memorial Committee. The memorial features a bronze statue of an army sergeant in full battle uniform holding a grounded rifle in his left hand and a standard in his right hand. The statue is 8 feet and 6 inches high and is mounted on a pedestal of Stancliffe stone, which sits on a granite plinth. The bronze dedicatory panel on the lower portion of the pedestal features a laurel wreath and palm fronds. The four faces of the pedestal bear bronze panels on which the names of the fallen are recorded, with the fatalities from the Royal Inniskilling Fusiliers being listed first. 3 females are commemorated on the memorial: Staff Nurse Emily Gray of the Queen Alexandra's Imperial Military Nursing Service, Alicia Watt of the Queen Mary's Army Auxiliary Corps, and Nurse Frances Emma Short of the Voluntary Aid Detachment. Frances Short was only added to the Commonwealth War Graves Commission database in recent years, and the Commonwealth War Graves Commission headstone was installed in the graveyard at Tulliniskin Parish Church in New Mills in October 2022. The recognition of Nurse Short as an official war fatality was largely due to the efforts of Kenneth Farquhar of Dungannon. Frances Emma Short was born on 22nd April 1864 at Curran near Dungannon to Hugh Short and Elizabeth Short, formerly Simpson. Hugh Short died on 2nd March 1892 and Elizabeth married John Greehall on 2nd February 1898. In 1901, Frances and her sister Harriet were living at Market House Street in Limavady and were recorded as being drapers. In 1911, Harriet was living with her mother and stepfather at Curran, and Frances was lodging at High Street West in Sligo and was a milliner in Joseph Erskine's drapery business. Frances Short volunteered for war service as a nurse on 9th August 1918, her age being recorded as 31. Nurse Frances Short died at the Bermondsey Military Hospital in Lewisham on 26th December 1918, aged 54, and lay in an unmarked grave for nearly 104 years. She is also commemorated on the Wartime Nurses Memorial in the National Arboretum in Staffordshire. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.